AI has been described by many as more transformative than the internet and even electricity. I've just returned back from the US, where I've spent a good few weeks traveling all around the country, meeting with leaders across, different sectors. And on my flight home, honestly, I couldn't sleep. I was 26 hours wired because everything I had just learned, I felt like I had kind of sleepwalked my way into this new era of work where I was aware that there was definitely problems, but I didn't realize how deep and how huge the problems are that we're about to face. And it was only when I started really breaking down and processing the impact of what this would do to not only people, but the businesses and society as a whole, that I started to get really, really worried. Like, I'm a workforce strategist. We've talked about, a lot of my career has been talked about, automation is coming and our workforces are not prepared for it. But I think we completely underestimated the size and the scale of what's happening in our workforces and in society as a whole. Not only have we got generative AI coming in like ChatGPT, and, they're saying that, 300 million jobs will be, replaced and automated, according to Goldman Sachs. But on the other side of the industry, you also have factories being digitized. There's roles that you would have thought would never have been automated. And this is huge. Like, this is so big. The scale and the impact of this on people, on companies, on everyone globally is just incredible. And I think we've all been sleepwalking our way into this one, because when you sit down and you go through the size and scale of this, I'm not hearing a lot of folks talking about this and driving any action on it. I'm hearing a lot of talk, but not a lot of action. And that's really scary for me, because I've started looking at the depth of impact of what it would mean. And I find myself sitting on the plane looking at everyone, wondering like how many folks here would have some form of impact to their jobs, and what would happen to them and what would happen to their family. And it was really sad, and it was really scary to think that all of these people probably don't know that there is stuff going to happen in their future that is going to be, really disruptive. And what are we doing about this? Like what are our workforces doing to prepare people for this? What are people being told? We've spent the last 10 years directing and driving people towards careers like in tech and digital that are massively being disrupted, and no one knows this yet. What are the roles that actually are going to be required in the future? And how do we prepare our workforces to make sure that we're doing everything we can to not leave folks behind? And how do we educate people to help them find opportunity and know how to self-navigate towards careers that are, going to be long-lasting and meaningful? The other thing that I spent so much time thinking about was, my two daughters, Tierna is 9 and Indy is 5. And what are they going to do? Like, the way that they're being taught in school right now is not going to prepare them for the future that they're going to become an employee in. So what does education look like? How do we give people transparency in career trajectories so that they're investing their passion and their energy in the right direction, so that when they're doing all of this reskilling, that it's actually for the right jobs? So we need to be really focused on that. And here's the thing. Businesses that don't embrace this will be left behind. So I'm not saying don't do this. I'm saying that absolutely do this, but what are we doing to make sure that we evolve everyone on this journey? I think the power of this is incredible for workforces, for, businesses, but what we've got to make sure we do at the same time is, how do we make sure that we leave no one behind? How do we make sure that our businesses are creating workforce strategies and transformations to, bring their workforce into that future state? One thing's for sure, businesses will have to embrace a new workforce DNA. The way that we're working now, the way that companies are operating, and the systems that they've got in place to run their companies, it's not going to work. This is not going to work. And this blog I was writing, this was not me writing a blog to tell you, here is how you do this and here's the answers to all your problems. If anything, it was more me breaking down everything that I had heard, all the research that I had been doing, and really putting this together in a way that I could understand the scale of the problem myself. Let's be honest, even the smartest people in the world have been pushing us towards the wrong career pathways over the last 10 years. So I think we need to acknowledge that we don't know fully the extent or how to solve this problem. But one thing's for sure, we do know is that we can't solve this alone. This has to be big. So I'm not going to pretend that I've got all of the solutions. What I will do though is, given the access that I have to, customers that are going on these transformations, to global leaders, to experts in policy, I'm going to start sharing as much as I possibly can to hopefully bring you on the same journey of knowledge that I'm getting to learn. I see an incredible opportunity in my own business to really embrace AI. I'm going to dive headfirst into this and share with you everything that I'm learning, the good, the bad, and the ugly of how I'm going to test a live experiment on my own company to really see what this actually does and to see what works and what doesn't, and how to actually do this in a way where we all can learn at the same time. When I finally got to sleep, I went to sleep with the acknowledgement that actually the role that I personally have and that us as HR leaders have is more important than it's ever been before. And if anything, I felt like I got a shot in the arm of energy around what I'm doing and my purpose in life. My mission to create zero waste to potential, it's not made up. This is a real thing that we need to make sure that every single person has access to a meaningful career, and that businesses are creating zero waste to potential in their companies. And I think I have become even more energized about the problem that I'm solving and energized about what's possible in the future of Rejig, but also for my own personal learning in my career. My ask of you all is, let's share all of our learnings. No one knows how to solve this problem. Right now, it's all theory. And I think what we need to do is get around the campfire together and share and experiment. I think it's really important that we get comfortable with failure. And I think it's really important that we get comfortable with experimentation and learning together so we can all collectively move forward together. There has never been a more important time for what we do. I have never been more energized about the problem that we're solving. I really look forward to building this community with you all and really creating a world with zero waste to potential. Thank you.